Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Desert. I'm the Reverend Ian Riddell, and I have the honor of serving this congregation as its minister and to be sharing the duties of worship associate today with the illustrious Bryna Blum. She always says stuff like that about me, so it's my turn. As we begin our service, we acknowledge that we gather here today on the unceded lands of the Agua Caliente Band of the Cahuilla people. And we commit to grow in our understanding and relationship with this land and with the people who inhabited it and inhabit it and nurtured it before our arrival. In this congregation, we welcome people of all sexual orientations and gender identities, of all ages and sizes, people of all economic statuses and professions, of all physical or mental abilities, people of all races and ancestries and cultures. We welcome you wherever you come from, whoever you love, whatever your immigration status or civic engagement. We welcome all those who will learn and grow with us as we commit together to embrace the rich and beautiful diversity of the world and to build a community centered in justice, compassion, and love. You are welcome here. We're glad you are here with us this morning, whether you are here in the room today or watching us online. Welcome. I want to take a moment now to also welcome our guest minister this morning, Reverend Ellie Kilpatrick. And Reverend Ellie, Reverend Ellie comes up to us, lives in Escondido, north of San Diego, and has served congregations in Livermore and Solana Beach, California, and Pasco, Washington, amongst others, I know. She is a valued colleague, and I know you'll be in good hands today and in July and August as she joins us as our summer minister. I know that you'll welcome her in our usual loving UUCOD way, and I hope that you will also stick around for lunch following the service today and greet her then. Welcome, Rev. Ellie. We're so glad you're with us. I would invite all of you to take a moment now and check and make sure that your cell phone or other electronic device is set to silent. Be here. Be in this. We're going to ring the Tibetan bowl now, and then Joel will play some music as we center ourselves and gather together for our service.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend Ellie Kilpatrick, and it is such a privilege to be here with you today. And I am so excited that I will be able to come to this wonderful community to preach 4 more times over the summer. Our call to worship this morning is a piece I wrote about worshiping together in this challenging moment in time. It's called, How Do We Worship? How do we worship when the ashes of fascism rain down on its people? How do we worship when the enemy is you and me and freedom falls at breakneck speed? Worship is courtship of hope and belonging. But hope's bound with justice, and trust is a must here. How do we worship when fear grips us tightly? When words do not capture the fight, fawn, or flight need? Maybe just being here is enough. Maybe we don't need to be tough. Being together to weather the whirlwind is sometimes enough to know nothing's determined. Together, we scream. Together, we rage. Together, we weep. And together, we rise. We are the ties that arise from the ashes. We are the worship that comes from the masses. Join with our kindred when we can just cope. Together, our worship will recreate hope. Blessed be, and amen. And now, please rise in body or in spirit for hymn number 1002, Comfort Me.
Please join me for the chalice lighting. The words are overhead. We light this chalice during chaotic times. I invite you to allow its light to guide you, to bring you to a place where you feel balanced and present. Let it remind you to feel your breath, to surround yourself with the things you cherish, lead you to remember one of your happy places. Let it help you release the things you cannot control. And remember that you are not alone, that we are all connected and all working to be a beacon of light in this chaotic time. And now if Joni will please come up for the lighting of the BIPOC candles. Again, the words are overhead. We light these candles in solidarity with Black, Indigenous, and other people of color as we journey together towards spiritual wholeness. May we, as a beloved community, work to dismantle racism and all forms of oppression. May we live out our values so that justice, dignity, and equity for all prevail.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you for your patience. I would like to introduce The Change. This powerful anthem by Charles Puth, titled Change, draws direct inspiration from Rodney King's 1992 plea for unity during the Los Angeles civil unrest, featuring soul-stirring harmonies and gospel-influenced sound. The song highlights the need for empathy and overcoming division.
Thank you, choir. We're always talking about how wonderful the choir is, but I have to tell you, I get such joy from watching Jim conduct.
Please join me in a brief moment of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and love, sometimes community care calls for music. In the never-ending cacophony of hatred, oppression, suppression, and loss, Let the harmonies of our love ring louder. In the unexamined dissonance of billionaires supposedly serving the people, let our dissonance lead to major change. Every note has a role to play, and we are each notes just like any other. May we know our beautiful worth. May our song drown out the noise. And may we remember that, like music, each note we have to share is made all the more beautiful when we join together. Blessed be, and amen. And now let us be silent together for a moment, a blessed rest in the song we write together. May the silence we have shared heal and hold us all. Please stay in your seats for Spirit of Life.
So, I chose a reading for this morning. Unbeknownst to me, and certainly unbeknownst to her, our wonderful admin, Pen Bebo, made it the cover of our July newsletter. So when I said to Reverend Ian, should I read something else? He said, no, I like the connection. So here we go. This is my wish for you. Comfort on difficult days. Smiles when sadness intrudes. Rainbows to follow the clouds. Laughter to kiss your lips. Sunsets to warm your heart. Hugs when spirits sag. Beauty for your eyes to see, and friendships to brighten your being. Faith so that you can believe. Confidence for when you doubt. Courage to know yourself, and patience to accept the truth. Most of all, love to complete your life.
A few months ago, one of my colleagues reached out to a large group of us ministers and said, "Okay, colleagues, for the third time this week, I've tried using Worship Web to find words for Sunday, and all 3 times my search has completely come up empty. Please advise." His search was for words we're generally not allowed to use in worship. A certain kind of cluster, if you will, and a certain kind of show and storm. All of this is to say that we ministers are struggling to find the words, just like you are, to navigate the relentless onslaught of horrors we face in America. Right after my colleague reached out, I wrote my call to worship, because I don't have the words either. Sometimes screaming and cursing is all we have. And sometimes not having the words is okay when we do have each other. Because for me, that's the definition of worship. We aren't worshiping words. We aren't worshiping an outside entity. We're worshiping the sacred space that our coming together creates. This very space right here and now. Recently, I've been thinking about the ways the pandemic disrupted emotional regulation for both individuals and communities, because ministers across the country are witnessing a very similar phenomenon today. We see the dysregulation in people and in systems. And I'd be lying if I said that ministers weren't feeling the same sense of dysregulation as everyone else, because we're human too. I don't think this phenomena is surprising, but in some ways it is harder to recognize than it was during the pandemic. Because back then we all knew just how trapped we were. But the trapping sensation that goes with this whirlwind is a lot more insidious. We're still going about our daily lives as we did a year ago or 2 years ago. But the descent of authoritarianism is all around us. And it's not only whittling away our freedoms in America, it's chipping at our very sense of self. Who we are as Americans, as Unitarian Universalists, and as human beings. Because it's abundantly clear that our values have been labeled as the enemy. If ever there was a DEI faith, it would be us. If ever there was a pro-democracy faith, it would be us. If ever there was a pro-immigration faith, it would be us. If if ever there was a First Amendment faith, you know it would be us. Diverse in opinions, queer and trans affirming, lovers of science and the pursuit of truth, we are everything this administration is trying so desperately to surgically remove from this country. We are the quote-unquote Antifa. So our equilibrium is understandably off-kilter, which puts an even higher need for community building and care than usual. Because the administration would love for us to be isolated, approaching care from a purely individual perspective. But fortunately for us, UUs are so much more than a simple gathering of individuals with like minds and like hearts. This is a community, interdependent, despairing, seeking, and hoping together. But in order to truly care for one another in this heartbreaking time, we have to get creative in the ways that we think of as care. Because one lesson we learned from the pandemic, at least temporarily, was how important it was not to see care as a binary, that there are givers and receivers of care, but rather to see care holistically. Because at the end of the day, each and every one of us is in need of care, and each and every one of us has something to give. But the way we often organize church structures tends to put people into categories when it comes to caring community: the givers and the receivers, the compassionate and the needy. And I don't think that actually describes who we are or who we want to be, because there's so much more love underneath what we do, even if it is simply showing up on Sundays. Church communities are a lot like the human body. We all have a role to play, and when any of us is thrown off, the whole community can get thrown off too. My colleague Elizabeth Stevens likes to joke that having a body is a lot of work. And she's not wrong. Bodies require feeding, exercise, hydration. We have to manage doctor's appointments and colonoscopies and mammograms and medications, and it all takes a whole lot of time and attention. And that doesn't even get into the hormones. Because today, it is a full-time job simply to manage our cortisol levels. It is such a natural instinct to simply persevere through our body's anxiety rather than tending to it. But imagine if we treated caring for one another the way we so often treat caring for ourselves. Imagine if we treated this congregational body that way. We'd be missing the very soul of caring community. When physical churches shut down 6 years ago, communities got creative. I remember my congregation at the time ended up having more activities during COVID than it had ever had before. Daily virtual coffee hours, weekly grief group, weekly choir, weekly justice education, weekly parent support group, weekly small groups meetings, and of course, weekly worship. And the pastoral care committee at the time made sure to call every single member of the congregation once a month and would let me know when members could use additional support. Now, I would love to take credit for the vibrancy during that incredibly difficult time, but the truth is that it wasn't just me the pastor giving care to the people. It was everyone giving care to one another. It was the sudden upshot of completely different members having the bandwidth to be givers in that time. Like the young parents who were tech savvy and wonderful singers taking leadership of AV and musical performances on Zoom, all while their 5-year-old routinely jumped in the background in her full Elsa regalia. The church's young members were suddenly mentors to older members, guiding them through Zoom and Google Docs. But the shift wasn't just empowering for younger members. It also meant that the recent widow who couldn't drive suddenly being able to join every single meeting because all she had to do was go to her computer. She had been a sporadic attendee, but during COVID, she gleefully joined the worship associate team, the pastoral associate team, and a small group ministry team. And then she ended up becoming a board member because of the shift in accessibility. All because she could give and receive care for all of those ministries with the addition of Zoom. The end of the day, what made community care different in the early stages of the COVID shutdown was that everyone was in the same storm with different abilities and skills. But all of them were necessary. And I think we knew that. And this is the kind of culture that I think we need to tap into again today. Because we can barely care for ourselves, let alone each other, if we're trying to carry on by ourselves. And I know it's hard because Unitarian Universalists are people who take individuality very seriously. How many of us found Unitarian Universalism and felt home right away because at long last we could be ourselves and seek ourselves with care? Seeking self-love and seeking justice are probably the two most common reasons people come to Unitarian Universalism. But if our compassion is grounded in our self-identity rather than our communal identity, we'll break under the burden of everyone's pain. And watching the extraordinary level of compassion fatigue and despair in the world led me to realize that we've been operating under a definition of compassion that's based entirely on individual. A definition that basically tells us that when someone sees anyone in distress, that person as an individual must ache with them, and that ache is what propels them to service or justice. And if they don't ache for each and every individual who suffers, that person is compassionless. And I think that we're fundamentally called to move away from this interpretation. The word compassion literally translates from Latin to suffer with. But what if we misunderstand what it means to suffer with? What if instead of suffering with each individual who suffers, making it impossible to distinguish our pain from our work? What if suffering with means we join together with each other to take on the whole of compassion so that the weight of it all is shared? The good news is that there's already a known model for this, and it's referred to as mutual aid. It emerged as a groundswell of care during the pandemic, though certainly it has existed well before then. But the University of Chicago's Journal of Society for Social Work and Research was so interested in the phenomena they witnessed during the shutdown that they put together a study seeking the values and beliefs underlying mutual aid. Danielle Littman was the primary author of the findings, and the study found 3 primary values: reciprocity, community-driven care, as opposed to individual-driven care, and shared humanity. To put it into UU words, that our inherent worth and dignity as individuals is embodied by our communities creating interdependent care. So the call for us as we navigate the whirlwind of today is to imagine a new kind of communal care and compassion that's community-driven. Because care isn't a good or service. It's people coming together to nourish the body, the heart, the mind, and the spirit. Our passion and our care are bound together. And there are so many opportunities to empower their interdependence. Because according to Littman's findings, mutual care showed that what made the model so appealing was the process itself. Because communities of mutual care are collaborative, creative, cooperative, and connecting. And I can think of no better way to reduce our cortisol levels than UUs working together to create and connect. We need the power of our joy and connection to persevere in this climate. And we need to make sure that no one gets left behind. But it goes even beyond perseverance. Because once infrastructures of community care exist in spaces like UU congregations, it makes community care and compassion out in the wider world so much easier to cultivate and give to, because it becomes a reflexive muscle. We've seen this take hold in Minneapolis. And Chicago, like Minneapolis, can attest to this as well. Chicago is known to have one of the most active mutual aid networks throughout the nation, especially when it comes to supporting immigrants. Before the operation in Minneapolis, when ICE was prioritizing its bombardment of Chicago, an extraordinary moment unfolded in the middle of a busy Chicago street. 2 masked ICE agents were in the midst of detaining and kidnapping a Hispanic man. They were attempting to throw him into an unmarked van, and this poor man was terrified, desperately trying to free himself from their hold. It was a horrific incident to watch, but in the end, the ICE agents were chased off, and the man was rescued. But that wouldn't have been the case if only 1 or 2 people had intervened, if most of these strangers had continued to drive. Instead, people got out of their cars and stepped in. The large men were in the agents' faces, demanding they let him go. Others had their phones out and were taking pictures of the van, license plate, and the agents. And some of the witnesses simply tried to reach for the man being kidnapped, talking to him, giving him words of support, promising him that they weren't going anywhere. And while agents were tackling him, one witness was simply holding his hand. When the agents realized the crowd was encircling them, with more and more people actively intervening, they let the man go, jumped into their van, and sped off. But each and every person there had a vital role to play. And throughout ICE's operation in Chicago, even more creative roles showed up. from the group of teenagers calling themselves the People's Patrol, handing out whistles to alert everyone in the community to ICE's presence, to the group of wealthier folks who were buying out taco stands so that owners could go home and be safe. This is what collective compassion looks like. Whether it's fighting for someone's right to be alive or putting together meal trains. Some of us will be organizers. Some of us will have resources. Some of us will bring passion and strength. And some of us will bring a simple, calm presence. And the beauty of it is we'll take turns in doing what we can, because that is what communal compassion means. You don't have to hold every ounce of the world's pain in your heart. You don't even have to hold every ounce of this congregation's pain. You only need to bring what you can, so that a collective compassion rises from the ashes of fascism and hate. The fires of tyranny and oppression are calling for us to respond again. But I want you to remember that you don't need to carry it all, because what you have to give is enough. Because together we'll build a new way of caring for the whole of our communities. Together we'll chase off the forces of fascism and rise once more from the ashes. And together we'll create more connection, more hope, and more love. Because this journey towards collective compassion and care is the most blessed form of worship. We are whole, we are holy, and we are mighty. Blessed be, and amen. And now, please rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn, number 1017, Building a New Way.
Every day.
This is the time in our service that we share our congregational news, which to Denise Jansen-Eager is music to her ears. There are 2 announcements from the Social Justice Committee. UUCOD is again participating in Galilee Center's school supply and backpack drive. From today throughout all of July, we will be helping Galilee Center by donating backpacks and school supplies so that East Valley families won't have to worry about their kids going back to school in August without the necessary items for a successful year. A shopping list of items is on the table outside for you to take with you. Please bring them next Sunday when you come to church and put them in the donation barrel in the lobby. In August, there are 2 opportunities for you to volunteer for Galilee Center to fill the backpacks and to distribute them to the kids. You can find all that information in last Friday's newsletter. Your donated school supplies will save East Valley families lots of money and get their children ready for a successful school year. Please talk to Sue Kaspari for more information or to volunteer. The second announcement is that next Sunday is Food on the 1st. All food connected is taken to Galilee Center and handed out to the families. While we are grateful for whatever you donate, please go to uucod.org and check out the list of food that Galilee Center requests. For more information on these announcements, please look in last Friday's newsletter. And on the topic of food, the Stewardship Committee is hosting a pizza and salad luncheon following today's service. So please make your way to the community room after the postlude, not before the postlude. I did say pizza, so. And enjoy lunch with your community. And for everyone who had a part in today's service, thank you. Whether you are here in the sanctuary or elsewhere in the building, my gratitude. To Mr. Piano Joel Baker, thank you for the gift of music. To Reverend Ian, just for being our amazing Reverend Ian. You knew I'd say so. And to Reverend Ellie, we're delighted to have you here for the summer. Now please join me as we extinguish the chalice. The words are overhead. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Friends, as we exit this space of worship, let us remember that our caring community is something that we create together every single day. Because we all have gifts to give and gifts to receive, and our passions are intertwined with our compassion. So let us build a network of community care. Let us celebrate the inherent worth and dignity that we all have. Let us find joy in the nourishment and care for each other. Because even on our worst days individually, together, we are a force to be reckoned with. A force that will rise again and again, and a force that will always say yes to love. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen.